Hi, my name is Stacy Charpentier. I'm the Director of Training at CCAR, the Connecticut Community for Addiction Recovery. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to take a look at this video we've produced to provide an overview of the Recovery Coach Professional Designation interview process. I also want to congratulate you on making the decision to obtain your RCP designation. You submitted your application, and your application was reviewed and accepted. Now you received an invite to schedule your interview. You're probably wondering what to expect during this interview and what this is all about. I'm hoping in the next few minutes I'll be able to share a little bit more about the process so that you will be the most comfortable when you arrive at your Zoom appointment. The RCP interview is an interview conducted by our RCP coordinator or other CCAR staff, along with 2 to 3 other RCP designees. It's important to note that the panel is made up of people who have been through the interview process just as you're about to, so they know a little bit about what you're feeling. We have multiple people in the room because everybody is going to provide input on how you do in the process. It's no one person's decision as to whether or not you're an RCP designee or not. The panel together comes up with a collective decision as to who becomes an RCP. Because the interview is conducted in Zoom, it may seem a little overwhelming to see 3 or 4 faces of RCP staring back at you. But Zoom really does offer us the flexibility of being able to interview anyone at any time, anywhere in the world. It also allows us to have panelists volunteer their time to sit from wherever they are as well. The panel will take turns introducing themselves so you'll become familiar with who they are and their experience. As well, you'll be invited to share a little bit about yourself. We're hoping that this process of going through introductions will break the ice a little bit and put you a little more at ease. The RCB coordinator will share some additional details about the process, but to summarize, we want to give you an idea of timing and what we're looking for. So this video is designed to share with you some examples of questions as well as some examples of answers so that you can get an idea of exactly what we are looking for throughout the process. You should know that there are 3 portions of the interview, and what we're looking for in each portion is to see how well you demonstrate the 3-legged stool, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Answers can be generally short in nature, and they can be answered as what you would say in the role of a recovery coach, or you can role play your response. We leave the decision of how you respond up to you. But all in all, you should know that the interview should only take about 45 minutes from start to finish. During the actual interview, the panelists will take turns reading each question, and a PowerPoint slide deck will show the question that's being read on the screen. We're hoping that that provides you with an opportunity to hear the question as well as read the question if you have any concerns or maybe misheard something or are wondering if you're interpreting what is being asked in the appropriate way. We invite you to ask us questions throughout the process. All of the faces are minimized throughout the interview process so that you can really concentrate on the question that's being asked. So as I stated, there are 3 sections to the interview, and I'm going to go through each of them so you can understand the types of questions that we're looking for within each section. So the first section is general questions, and you'll be asked to respond as a recovery coach would to 5 general questions based on the training that you've received through the CCAR curriculum. We want you to answer the questions to the best of your ability as if you are a recovery coach. Here's an example. A recovery comes to you stating that they want to try medication for their addiction. How do you respond? Let's take a moment so you can think about that. Ready with your answer? Let's look at what we're looking for. So, this question addresses multiple boundaries, staying in your lane, as well as multiple pathways. So, there can be a wide variety of ways in which you can respond as a coach, but we're looking to see how well you stay in your lane when providing the answer. We're also looking to see how you answer the question. Is it given as advice, or did you ask a good question of your recovery? Again, we're looking at how best you demonstrate the three legged stool. In the second section, it's a case study. So we're looking to see how you help a recovery, fictitious of course, on their journey. When working through the case study, we want you to remember that you're responding as what you would say to the recovery. There's no dialogue, but we want you to base your response on the initial statement, question, or concern that the recovery is raising with you. Because this is a case study, there are 12 to 14 questions in this section. Let's take a look at some examples. You meet Maria while working in an emergency room. She was brought in due to an overdose and has been offered an opportunity to see a recovery coach. When you come in to see Maria, she is very embarrassed and quiet. She says she doesn't have a problem, but felt if she saw you, a recovery coach, the doctors and nurses would get off her back. What do you say to Maria during this first introduction? I'll give you a moment to think about that one. Ready to try one more? Maria stated she's ready to commit to her recovery and wants to seek treatment. While you've been searching for a bed for her, it may be a couple of days until you find one that is open. She's being discharged from the hospital this morning and shares that she's afraid to go home since her roommates all use. What do you say to Maria? I'll give you a moment to think about that one as well. These questions, along with all the other questions that follow your journey with Maria, provide us with an opportunity to see how well you utilize the skills that we're looking at through the three legged stool. We're also looking to see the variety of roles you play in her recovery process. If you remember from the CCAR curriculum, those are, for example, motivator, cheerleader, truth teller, resource broker. So we're really looking to at all of those things. And through the case study, it gives us an understanding to see how you react at different situations with that same recovery. We have one more section, so let's take a look. Section 3 is what we refer to as the lightning round, also known as rapid response. And it's really for you to express your initial thought as a recovery coach to a statement that's being read to you from the perspective of a recovery. There's 15 questions in this section, and even though we have asked for shorter responses throughout, this one we are looking for responses that are even shorter and faster to what the person is saying. So let's share an example. Your recovery states, I'm so tired of my mom getting on my case. She doesn't let me do anything outside school or work. When will she trust me again? There are so many responses to a statement such as this, and a coach can think about maybe sharing their own experience, or can express empathy for the situation. Just like coaching, there's no one right answer, and how you answer is really going to depend on your own art and science. And so, again, we're not looking for a right answer, we're just looking to see how well you demonstrate the three legged stool. Once we're done with that portion of the interview, we invite you to leave the Zoom so that the panelists can discuss your answers. Our goal throughout this process is to see how well you demonstrate the three legged stool in your answers, and how we score you is based on those responses. We use a rating scale to rate your performance. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did the interviewee treat the person like a resource, discover and manage their own stuff, actively listen, and ask good questions? That's it. It's pretty simple. The interview, because we go through a wide variety of questions, gives us an opportunity to really see how you demonstrate what you've learned through this trainings, which we call the science, as well as how you've been practicing your recovery coaching. Again, the art. An RCP, and what we're looking for in an RCP is that they can demonstrate their understanding of the art and science of recovery coaching. That's it. As the panelist discusses your responses, they are concluding with feedback. They are and results. Their goal is to, are you a pass or are you a not pass? In any case, the RCP coordinator is going to provide you with your results via email within 24 to 48 hours. This email is going to include feedback from the panel, both positive and things that we felt that you might want to look at. If you did not pass the interview portion, we'll provide you with an opportunity to sit for another interview in 90 days free of charge. We also provide you with some resources to help you prepare for your second interview. Those can include webinars, but you're also invited to work with us one-on-one through a coaching session with one of our panelists. And you're invited, if you would like to speak with our RCP coordinator to just review any specifics of your interview, we want to encourage you to do that as well. I know that this is a lot of information to cover, and I hope that I gave you a better understanding as to what to expect. But if at any time you have any questions during the interview or any time during this process, we want you to ask us. The entire CCAR staff and RCP panel all want to see you succeed in this process, and we're here to support you along the way. Our email address is rcp@ccar.us if you're looking for specific information regarding the Recovery Coach Professional Designation or the interview. I thank you for spending time with me this morning to learn a little bit more about the RCP interview, and I really hope that this was helpful. Please feel free to call us at our offices or email us if you have any other questions. Thank you so much, and I wish you well on your journey. Take care.